I'm going to ask Pastor Bill Honaker to do an invocation.
Thank you. Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, we thank you for the blessing of this day, for your mercy and grace, for your abundant care in our lives as we've gone about our daily activities. Lord, as we begin tonight, I just ask that we would all pause for a moment to remember the brave men that 73 years ago stepped onto the beaches of Normandy and began the liberation of Europe by their deeds, by their courage, by their bravery. And we remember them tonight, Lord. We remember those that remain, dwindling numbers, but certainly remember them and pray your encouragement, your blessing, and your strength for them in these latter years of their life. For the families that lost loved ones there, Lord, and for those that even today don't know for certain where their loved one lies, we ask your blessing, your comfort, and your care for them. Ask, Lord, that you would bless our men and women who are now serving our country around the world, especially those, Lord, that are in harm's way. And we ask your protection and care for them, that you would grant them divine wisdom, that they would know moment by moment what they must do, what they've been called to do, and they would do that, Lord, with strength and courage and understanding of what they're trying to accomplish. And we pray your blessing for them. For Mayor Conley, Lord, and the council members tonight, I ask that you would give them divine wisdom, that you would encourage them, that you would strengthen them with the truth that you have for them, that they might diligently serve you and serve the citizens of Blairsville and of Union County by the decisions that they make. We thank you, Lord, for their representation here tonight. We thank you for what they will do, and ask, Lord, that you would bless and encourage them. And we ask all of this now in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Pledge. Salute.
Allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thank you.
I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Show of hands, everybody is okay with it. I need another motion to dispense with the reading of the May 9th minutes and approved.
I'll make the motion.
I second. Motion made. Everybody vote yea. Unfinished business. Truck ordinance, that's still work in progress. And by the way, I called our DOT guy again today. He's in the training meeting, so yeah, he'll call us back on the 16th, I believe, is when he gets back to work. Under new business, we've got R.L. Jennings and Marvin Chance. I just got through asking Kay what your last name was, Marvin. I should know it by now. They are our auditors, and they are going to present our audit tonight. Our audit is a wee bit incomplete with some paperwork, which they'll have to take our copies back with us and when they get it completed, but it had nothing to do with our audit numbers. So, Marvin, we'll let you have the floor if you're going to be the presenter.
Yes, sir. My name is Marvin Chance. I'm the manager with R.L. Jennings. I work out of the LJ office. Lee Jennings is here with me, my boss, so y'all be nice. We have completed the audit for 2016 for the city of Blairsville. What you have in front of you is a draft. The financial numbers in the first 12 pages or so are correct and complete. The other 35 pages we're still tweaking. The footnotes and all the other information that goes along with the audit. We'll have completed copies here next week. We go through a 3-person review reading these things so that make sure they're all the numbers in the front tied to what's in the back. So the important thing is the audit was clean. It's an unmodified opinion. There was no issues that we found. As far as the governmental compliance side, all the grants, and I'll have a special compliance component. There were no reportable findings in compliance with the grants that was used on the airport, water lines, sewer lines. Very clean, very neat, as always. It's been a very smooth transition from Janice to Kay and John, and I appreciate their efforts and getting us everything we asked for when we asked for it, which is not always the case in some places. Just some rough numbers on your governmental funds. You still have a fund balance of over $3 million. Roughly, that's money that if things got real tight, it's a paper entry that you can cover your expenses and stuff for a while. On the water system, you have a net position of over $10 million. A lot of that value is, of course, is in the system itself. And you did have an increase of $300,000 in your net cash position on the water and sewer side. The airport, you still have a net position of a little over $12 million. There again, most of that is in the infrastructure and the improvements you've been making at the airport over the last several years. Very clean, very neat. Everything was ready when we got here. I'm not sure what kind of shape we left when we left, but if you have questions, the letterhead on about the third or fourth page, I can't remember. It contains the phone numbers for the LJ office and the Rome office. Lee's in Rome, I'm in LJ, so if you have any questions, feel free to call me. Like I said, this is a draft. Some of the stuff in the back is going to be a little rough. Spacing, there's a reason why I'm an accountant. And we've got a reason why we have a lady in Rome that spends all her time reading these things. And she's done her first one, and we're going to clean up the numbers, and like I said, have you a finalized copy next week. So, like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us. We will answer all your questions once you get a turn to look at it. And, if you got any general questions right now, we can entertain them. Okay. Well, Lee and I have another meeting to go to, so.
Anybody have any questions at all?
Now, we're used to hearing about this, like the best audit you've ever seen, that kind of stuff.
We've been getting a better representation.
Now we get to audit you.
Yeah, certain people that like to talk, and some of us don't. Y'all got the long version. I did one last year. It took me 3.5 minutes. But I will brag on the staff you have here, from Kay, Joan, and Stacy, and the girls up front. Everything was neat and prepared when we got here, and what we asked for, we got that day. And like I said, it's not always that way. Y'all are very fortunate to have the staff you have, that they care. Because I've got one audit, well, we won't say how long I've been working on it, because they can't find anything. And so it does occur.
So that's why ours is not complete tonight.
Yours is not complete tonight, but I can't taught Philip how to do financial statements. We've had a change in our staffing. Tom retired. He's been a government auditor for 40+ years. He's retired. And then Kevin Dover.
Kevin went to work for the hospital.
Yeah, he works over here now. I'm still mad at him. But everything will be done, completed on time. June 30th is when all this stuff has got to be to the state and USDA and whoever else y'all need. But like I said, I appreciate the help, and it's y'all got a great staff here, and I appreciate their efforts.
Thank you for saying that, Marvin. We truly know that. Yes, we do.
So like I said, if you come with questions later, phone numbers are in the report, and you can just leave those with Kay, because I'll be back to bring you your official ones next week. So I'll just keep those, or do you want me? You want me to go? Y'all can keep them, flip through them, but I will need these drafts back. You can leave them with Kay.
Okay.
But I'll bring the official ones back next week. So.
Okay, and we'll give you these in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin.
Appreciate your business.
Lee.
You're welcome. My voice is not very strong tonight. I've been on the phone all day. I can hardly talk.
All right, y'all be safe.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask Lee and Joan, are y'all comfortable with it to this point, with the audit? Y'all are the two kingpins involved in audits.
Yes, it seemed to go very smoothly from my first month into it.
We did very well, and they did well.
Well, the main thing is just like Marvin said, the prep work they do before the auditors give you all the information that everybody in the office has to pull for them. So all the way from Cindy in the police department, Tracy and Karen up front. So they all have records that they have to have ready for them, and that's why they don't have any problems with our audits. Okay, moving right along, department head reports. Who wants to go first?
John takes the longest, so we're going first.
Well, let's just see what. Aren't burying a lot of people. Courtesy escorts.
Yep. That's like for the bank and all that stuff. Escorting to the ATM machine where they can load it.
Anything going on, John, that particularly?
No, not real, not anything other than just the same old stuff.
Routine?
Things going pretty good.
Y'all been having a lot of meth here lately, haven't you?
Yeah, we found some. Yeah, we did. Finding more of it now than then.
Drug violations
I
are
think county is too.
reasonably low, but drug violations, does that cover everything?
Still getting a little bit of marijuana, but the mess really coming back strong.
Most of the drugs are going out of the drugstore, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions for the chief? Well, while we've got him on the hot seat, we've got another part-timer. His name is Philip Hammond. He comes to us by way of the sheriff's office, like all the part-timers have so far. And he's got quite a bit of experience in law enforcement. He's done all his paperwork, and actually he's been working for the last 3 weeks, I guess now he's been working. So I need the council's approval to hire Philip. Y'all got some of his paperwork? Okay. Give you a little idea. He's been at the sheriff's office since 13. He's a sergeant. Prior to coming to Blairsville, he worked for Morrow Police Department. He was there a couple of years, and prior to that, Jonesboro, that's pretty much in the same neck of the woods. He was there 4 years, looks like prior to that, in the military.
Johnny likes him, I like him. I make a motion with.
Yeah, you've been here 3 weeks, I say.
Is that him back there?
No, that's Drew back there.
Drew's here.
Drew's another part-timer.
Somebody needs to introduce him.
Huh?
Somebody needs to introduce him.
Well, I called him a while ago, but it's time to start. I'm Drew Stewart, good to meet you. He's a good boy.
Buddy made the motion, I second.
Motion made and second, and by the way, it's at $14 an hour. And everybody said yay. Larry, you wanna go next?
Yes, sir. When they did our sanitary surveys, EPD recommended we get our tanks inspected and cleaned if needed, so we're in the process of getting bids for that. I've got 3, I forwarded you 3, Jim, there's one more.
Actually, I think I counted up, we've got a total of 5 bids, I think, right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Process of getting that. Danny and I, Mayor, will just go over and read and see what we thought about, and we'll pass the word on to Jim, what we think, recommendations to do it, and he'll give with y'all. We got some prices on getting these actuators that I talked to y'all about a couple of months ago.
I mean, best stop you that these people that's gonna be inspected, is they guidelines, requirements, or they gotta be qualified?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The state, recommends it, or say we have to do it every 5 years. But these people are supposed to be certified in this inspection, and they got divers cleaning, so I got, on the people that do the diving, I've got 2 prices. I've got them to drain the water down and wash them out, and then get a diver. And I'm not too much on that diving team, it's, some of them use a little robot in there for sedimentation's over 3 inches deep, that ain't gonna work for that. We talked about just running the water down to about 4 feet in the tanks and then draining it and washing it like that. I like that way better, that way you get it out.
Well,
I don't know what we'll do yet, really.
One thing I want you to keep in mind, I drink the water, okay?
Well, I do too, before it gets to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Haven't done nighttime 2003, they still alive.
Yeah, it's been 14 years. So we got
that's the
close to
problem with 2 of our tanks. They haven't been done since 2003. The 2 oldest tanks we have, y'all remember, we got them done. One was done in 10 and the other one was done in 11. And the Ross Ridge tank was completed in about 98. And of course, it's up to, on the list too.
Yes.
We put a new tank out there, didn't we? Different tank?
It's 300,000.
That's
5,000.
Ridge.
That's
That's just
5,000.
all the tank, furnished Rouse Ridge, and not Thomas Ridge,
Okay.
Thomas up to.
Yeah, that's just the holding tank for the ridge. But the biggest tank we got is up on Shoe Factor, which is 500,000.
Yes.
As far as the cost-wise on getting these tanks cleaned, like Larry said, the robot type, but all they guarantee on that is getting 3 inches of debris or whatever they suck out of it. And they do it by vacuum with a robot. And of course, if there's any other debris down there, that's a separate charge. And of course, everything that they take out of these tanks, we have to dispose of,
Yes.
just like it's hazardous material. So that's the big kicker for us. Of course, we've got a place that we can dispose of it at.
Right.
So, but draining the tanks down like I think Larry's wanting to do, which is the one way to really clean them, we'd have to do that over a period of time, because we just can't bring somebody in here and have to waste, what would we waste in, say, 3 foot of water?
3 foot of water, probably 50,000 gallons like that.
Waste that kind of water at one time with every one of the tanks.
Yeah, there's no way we could do it. What we'd have to do, like if everyone's in the tank, we could use that down to like 3 or 4 feet. And then shut that tank off before it's using it, put water in it. And then, actually, we just gotta turn it to waste. Turn it to waste.
Yeah.
But that's all we do. But if they put divers in there, we're still gonna have to have the tanks disinfected. So when you get them drained and washed out like that, you know they're clean. Now, if they do it with the diver, that robot, you can see them, but maybe they make you a tape of it, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, they chlorine them down.
Yeah.
They're
But see, the problem-
disinfected.
The problem is up at Ross Ridge. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I don't know what kind of equipment they're gonna have, because, my truck, nobody's trucks, only 2 trucks that built there at one time. It's just.
Well, they say in their beds, size of the equipment. I was reading that today. I was thinking about that. And just a regular, if you remember when we did up at Dogwood Hills, you know how small an area that is up there, and all they had was a trailer and then their main truck. So they was able to get all their equipment up there, and that's what these bids are showing, But the ones that's talking about doing the diving, that's not taking the tank out of operation.
Right.
But I can't see how you could be using water out of that tank while they're doing the cleaning. That's what.
Well, you can on that, Mayor. We'd have to, if you more water, if they did, but still we'd have to get a, back tea on that, so not to, get a back tea.
I guess I've said all this to let you know that the divers is the least expensive way of getting them cleaned. Now, the last time when we had the Dogwood Hills tank cleaned, one of them cost us, I think, $80,000, and I believe another one was something like $70,000.
And how did we do that?
Huh?
Which way did we do that? Random?
Well, back then, we played it, we had to, they drained them, and see, those things had never been cleaned.
But they were refurbished too, that was the process.
Yeah.
Those tanks were refurbished too, Mayor, so.
Yeah, we
That's
had to refurbish because there was some cracks. Those are iron tanks, they're not concrete. And they had to go in there and sandblast and had to do welding and all that. It was one mell of a hess. But once they got done, they look like new tanks. But those tanks have been in there since '48. And that steel was real steel. It ain't like the steel you get today.
Not lead.
No.
Did they ever send the quote?
I ain't heard from him.
I haven't either, Mayor, I don't know.
I'll call him tomorrow.
What do other counties do? Or other water?
Buddy, honestly, I don't know. These recommendations, when I talk to these places that they've done, they do a lot in Georgia. And when they get to calling me a whole lot, we wound up 5 bids, these people would call and, I'd tell them, I'd let them know, just kind of, I guess, get them off the phone when 4 EPD come in. And then when they got there, so I felt kind of bad, so I called and told them, we was getting ready for it to get bids. But I don't know, I assume these other places, unless they do it themselves, they have to do the same thing. Now, Lee Smallwood wanted to refurbish these tanks up there. The way they do theirs is they wash theirs out with when they do a tank, it's what I call a dry cleaning, they use pressure washers, 2,500 PSI pressure washer, and that's how they clean.
pull it down though.
Yeah, they drain the water out of it and then wash it out.
Take all the water out.
And you know, I don't know, I'll just be honest with you, I don't know why we couldn't do that. Me and Danny's been talking about that and looking at some pumps. That's not too outrageous on price, Jim, and we've been talking about that amongst ourselves up there. We just haven't mentioned it to you yet, but we've been looking at that up there. We're going to have to drain them down. You know, I don't know why we couldn't do it.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Well, us, get a pump and, the city employees, I wouldn't want any detainees in there.
Well, you couldn't put them in there if you wanted.
No. That's an idea, I don't want that in there.
Space too.
Well, we can take that hatch off. We're looking into it. I don't know what it would run into, but we just, kind of tossing that around.
Would,
Well-
EPD get involved or something like that?
I would probably contact them. You don't know who to contact down there. Our inspector here, he's already gone. The one that was up here done our cemetery survey. He's done gone, so that left him with 2 down there. But we would contact somebody and, tell them what we had in mind and if they had anything going or different, to let us know and then, pass it on to you all.
Just remember, that would be considered as confined
Right.
spaces.
Yes,
And that would require special insurance, I think.
yeah.
Could we, I guess we're gonna do this anyway, but could we come up with the options that you choose, or 2 or 3 or 1, and then bring it back to us?
Yeah, we'll have to.
Well, what I'd like to do on that is when Danny and I look through it, what we think, and then pass it on to Jim. And then the next, y'all you get a copy and look at it and read it, because y'all I'm sure gonna have questions about it. And, make a decision from there, what the 3 out of the, how many we get.
And
Go with that.
the money, the cost would be a factor, of course.
Sure.
I'd be for that, and now, at this point, just gather your bids and options and bring it back to us.
So, that's what I have.
You said your piece.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Darren, you want to go now since you're sitting by Larry?
Sure. I'll be brief. We have meetings coming up. I've got Board Certified Economic Development Program class coming up this Thursday. Blairsville is the host city. For those of you who don't know, this series will give me my state certification in economic development. And different cities host, depending on what the topic is. Blairsville is centered on tourism. Our next DDA board meeting is Tuesday, June 13th from noon to 1 at City Hall. Spring Arts, Crafts, and Music Festival is behind us. Thank goodness. This year was a humdinger. We had a car wreck on the square and a mini tornado. That's the only way I know how to describe it. I left the square around 11 o'clock on Saturday night and everything was good. And about 1 o'clock I was back on the square and half the tents were gone. So, in fact, we still got the red truck out there, still has tent remnants in it. However, all in all, it was a good festival. We had more people participate this year than last. And the survey I did of the businesses on the square, some of them did double and triple what they did this time last year. And they were very enthused and are asking, what's the next event downtown? So with that in mind, this year or this season, we'll be doing 3 events a month through the DDA. The corner concert on the square, first one is this weekend. It's a tie-in with the Scottish Festival, which is also this weekend. So we're going to set up a mini stage. The Oz and his boys are helping me do this one. We've got Raven and Red, we've got Scottish music and dancing. The wine store is doing its thing, and all the businesses in that section are going to stay open later than usual. So we should draw a good crowd. The next cruising on the square is Saturday, June 17th. Tree at City Hall had recommended doing the sock hop. So we're going to try to do some kind of maybe grease type tie-in or something. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'll put something together. You know how it works.
Just swing it.
Yeah, there you go. And then our first outdoor movie of the season is going to be Saturday, June 24th. And we're going to do that at the Mont Callus in conjunction with the Historical Society. We did 2 of them last year. The goal is to have 1 a month. So that way people have different options or different reasons to come down at least 3 times a month.
And the last thing I have is thanks to the mayor, he was able to get in touch with somebody from the UGA. It just so happens the person who contacted is the person who's teaching our class this Thursday. So she and I are going to come down and walk the property and take a look at some of the buildings downtown to determine what would be the best thing to build on that lot right across from Foodland. But the concept, if I haven't shared with you, is a 3-story structure. It'll be similar to King's 5 and Dime in terms of look and feel. Retail on the bottom floor, or the ground floor, facing into the parking lot. And the middle floor would be facing Foodland and have retail, and then the 3rd floor would be residential. So that's a unique concept for us, and one that we are very excited about. Merchants Walk, I don't know if I shared with you, I've seen the plans for it. It's about to go like I think the budget for that one's like anywhere from 1.2 to 1.6 million investment in that property. There'll be 2 completely new structures, 2 stories, retail on the bottom, residential above, possibly 3 stories. And the dance school will be raised down to the ground and foundation and girders and then rebuilt, possibly with a 2nd story of residences above that. But it will be basically a mini square. They're going to do the same types of sidewalks we've done on the square, street lights, green space. It's a lot to fit in that little space, but on paper it looks really good. And we're still in the process of picking out like designs and materials for that. But construction or tear down the dance school should start fairly soon. They're in the process of building their own space, and we're just waiting for that to happen. But there'll be lots of changes this summer, and we're very excited about that. That's all I got.
What's the status of this lot you're speaking of? Is it sold or?
I don't know if it's fair to say it's sold. It's not closed, but I would call it sold. It's an opportunity that we're never going to get again, and we all feel that it's going to be able to jumpstart the other 2 pieces of property that we have. The monies that we get from that, part of it will come back to the city, and the rest we have to put into the parking lot. Because I don't know if any of you were downtown this past part of the weekend of the festival, but we literally had cars parked from the back of King's 5 and Dime all the way to 515, and all that space out there was just car after car after car. Parking is a huge, huge deal here, and it's something that we can't make more of it. I don't think we could ever make enough, to be honest.
That's a good thing, good problem.
It's a good problem to have, you know.
You know, I have reminded all of us a time or two, I want to remind y'all again, the reason we bought this property was 2-fold: parking and restrooms, public restrooms. Will we ever see those?
Yes, we will. We've done some preliminary designs for those. In fact, I've got them in my office. It's really just a matter of placement. We didn't want to come to you guys and ask for more money because we didn't feel that was the thing to do. So with the sale of this property, we'll be able to do the parking and the restrooms. And the bridge between, the space between Hole in the Wall and King's 5 and Dime, that bank area, that's got to be fixed in such a way that people with disabilities can get from the parking lot up to the square. And we'll also have some type of pavilion or something where we can have bands set up or picnic tables just to kind of fill in that space.
When this property sells, or will we ever know what we get for it?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I consider y'all our partners in this, so we wouldn't do anything to blindside you or keep you out of the lead.
Thank you.
How many parking places are on the plane there?
I want to say it was like right at 110.
How much of the property is that take?
It will take from, if
What
we're
in acreage?
yeah, the property line will be at the very tail end of King's 5 and Dime, the corner where Bearding Bottle Shop was. It will go from there all the way back to behind City Hall.
How much?
But
What percentage of the property is there?
well, for that I would say it's probably a good, what, 80%, 90%? Because we can't build directly behind City Hall because it's considered wetlands, where the creek is, but we can push right up to it. And our other goal is to push, to extend the parking, because right now, the parking is kind of, we've not not taking advantage of all the space we have there, but with the designs that we have, we will definitely be maximizing.
So 80% of that lot will be parked?
Directly behind us, yes. It'll come behind City Hall.
And the restroom?
Restrooms are either gonna go directly beside hole in the wall or in that space between hole in the wall and King's 5 and Dime that's somehow built there. We have to fit a lot in there. We gotta get public restrooms in there, and we also have to get some type of switchback ramp for the disabled to get up on the square. Because right now, if they park in that lot, they have to go around the law office to get into the shops. And the issue there is a lot of those doorways on the front of King's 5 and Dime are not handicap accessible because they have stoops. So they have to go in through the deck behind Michael Lee's to get into the shops that way. So we're hoping to rectify some of that by having the.
I thought Chris fixed all that when he bought that property.
He did, but from the backside only.
Oh, you're talking back, so I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So they're compliant, but only from the back.
Gotcha.
What is your plan as to how close to the street you build this building?
It will have to set back. In fact, I talked with August and them today about that. There's apparently a water main junction.
Yeah, 10-inch water line on that side.
And there probably won't be any parking available there between the
No,
buildings.
That's the courtyard.
It'd be
space.
more yard area out front.
Yeah.
I vision that building setting back at least 8 foot.
Yeah, if not more,
Just
maybe
walking
halfway.
space, yeah.
Yeah, so then we can put, park benches and tree planters or something out there.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right.
Ain't nothing left for me to say. Anyway, we can finish the meters over at the apartment, we got all those there, 73 of them. Got all that done and finished, we all have them.
code up,
Yeah.
well, we need to lay off,
Huh?
we need to lay off some people.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep trying to keep this maintenance up, but we can't. They keep us busy.
Wait till we get the tanks cleaned, okay?
Yeah. We've had a couple of weeks this month, had 2 weeks on Memorial Day, we worked on Memorial Day, but over in Pinebrook, or Tangbrook, we got, not too bad, we got that big. Got 2 other service lines, we've been doing pretty good on the water. And had a lot of trouble, not gonna do it. But, everything been doing good, just like we've been doing a lot of maintenance on prayer beds and everything. Weather warmed up a little bit, so we're staying busy.
Yep. Good deal.
That's all I have.
Any questions for us? John, I guess it's your turn.
All right. I went to Ace and bought 10 stepping stones and put them at the 2 gates on each end of the building. And WC recommended I countersink them so it wouldn't mow over them. So I will be doing that.
Quit spending money.
Oh, that was cheap. And then the flooring, new flooring is, our second new flooring is in and done. They cleaned the building up over the weekend. Everything's back in place. We made some changes on some of the cabinets and the bulletin boards. It looks a lot better. I love it like now, how it's set up now. It's a lot better than it was. One of the bulletin boards went in the smaller one in the pilot's planning area and then one, the big one in the hallway, right near where the bathrooms are. And then the big cabinet that was next to our sales counter was put in the alcove back in the back, and that's much better. Looks cleaner. And then also Denny had, they put new window sills in all our offices up front there. They were sheetrock, and we were getting condensation and moisture, and it just wasn't gonna hold up. So he went in and had wood window sills, nice white and caulked and everything, so they look 1,000% better. I moved 2 computer systems that Tom Welch had donated to us. They're Dell computer systems, flat screens, keyboards, speakers, everything, and I put them over there. One is in the pilot's planning room, and one will probably be in the pilot's lounge. So we have a total of 4 of them now, with the 2 that we have in the city at our offices. Mark Daler moved out. He moved his plane down to Macon, so we moved Ken Daniels into his hangar. And then we had a new Baron come in, which is a twin engine, and it's now in the front corner where Ken was in the old Bill Elliott hangar. Joe Kosak, he used to have a hangar before. I got 27 names now on the hangar waiting list. We had talked about fire extinguishers, and probably when we move, we'll take the 3 that are in our building there and move them over to the new building. But I do need to do smoke alarms, because we didn't put smoke alarms in that new building.
That's gonna be simple.
No big deal. The EAA chapter out there had donated 2 nice picnic tables. They're folding, they're outdoor, they're the heavy metal, and the seats and tops are weatherproof. They're vinyl, but they're wood, and they're a brown, match the building. And they're right now are in the old city hangar, but once we have our ceremony and get open and all that done, we move in, we'll put them over there in an appropriate location for people to enjoy the outside around the building. They were about $150 each, so they gave us 2 of them. And then Jim Olson, who's a member there of the EAA, he's the one that did our aerial shots here. He donated 2 40 by 40 prints of him and Ben Bradley and their RV-12 they built there. It's a real pretty military Navy steam airplane. And then one of a P-51 that was there when the Warbirds came in. So they're very attractive, and he had them done and donated them to us. I got to get with the chamber and get some brochures, and I've got some racks for that area where we're going to have brochures and information about the area, restaurants, motels, sites, attractions. So we want to get that set up. I think Toby Chandler over there is going to work with me on setting all that up. So they're going to come out and help us do that and make it, add their special touch to it. 2 new pilots out there, Chris Wadle and Greg Adams, both our partners in our plane, both passed their flight exams last week and are official pilots. Dick Evelyn, who owns the Stearman out there, the old biplane, yellow, you may have seen it flying around. Unfortunately, he left Saturday to go to an air show down at Peach State, south of Atlanta, and when he landed, he flipped it and crashed it. He's okay, no injuries to him, but he's afraid his plane may be toast. He's had it 21 years, so about a $200,000 plane, so he's quite upset about it. So hopefully he can do something. And I was going to ask you, I had talked to Otis about this. I've got an airless sprayer, and I was going to talk to Denny. I'm going to get the same color paint that's on the outside of our building and spray our electrical vault that we moved. It's behind the new building. It's right next to the beacon tower. And just spray it the same color so that it'll blend in more with our, it's never been painted to my knowledge, and it's ratty looking, sitting right there next to our new building. I thought if I sprayed it, it would blend in more and match the building and not be as kind of a sore thumb sticking out there. And I may even have enough paint. Denny's got some leftover paint from the building, so there may even be enough of that to paint that.
Will that paint adhere to that
Yeah,
concrete?
it will, yeah. I asked Denny that, and he said it would. That's what they put on the siding, so I think that'd look real good. It'd match, blend in a lot better. That's all I got. We've been busy.
Sounds like it.
A lot of planes coming in here, a lot of jet traffic.
Hey, John, I believe, fire department, do you, fire alarms, and they'll do a escape plan for you. If you want. I'll get with them.
I would think so.
They'll do it. They do mine.
Okay.
Speak of that, we have an escape plan here. But you'll need
Find a door and get out.
Yeah, you'll need to have an escape plan posted.
We do have the lighted exit signs at all the doors. That's done. Yeah. Had a door in the kitchen area there, was coming off the hinges, screws So I fixed it, so I've done my first maintenance job over there.
It got stripped, didn't it,
Right.
when they put it back up after having to take it down
Right.
to get the floors.
I put some longer screws in it, it's fine.
So do we have a skate plan here?
We've had the fire department here, they've never said anything other than what we already have. I guess because we have so many entrances and exits.
No, that wouldn't have anything to do with it. I mean, I'd think an entity like this, we need one, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we need one. That might be something new they're doing,
I mean, not that, you know, it's just expected of.
Probably put a little insurance requirement like that, or, do you know? Somebody would, I think.
Not necessarily.
I know Steve Shields comes once a year and does an inspection.
Who's that?
He's from GMA, from all of our insurance companies.
Might not be an insurance thing. I said about that, John, if you talk to them.
Okay.
I'll call David and ask him tomorrow. David Dyer, who's in charge of the fire department, if they do it for escape plans. And if they'd mind coming, give us some directions.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank y'all.
Come back to this.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. They're not sleeping.
The next item on the agenda is discuss employees' performance review on our accounting clerk, Joan Manheim. And I'm going to let Kay do this.
Wait a minute, Kay. We don't do that in a public meeting, do we?
Well, in 6 months we do. I think.
I didn't think we're supposed to.
But all the review time for annual stuff, I don't think we do we?
Well,
I'm just asking, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me, but.
I know.
we can ask Joan to stand outside.
That's not the point.
It's, everything is public information, so we do it in the sunlight, you don't gotta worry about nothing.
We do the 6
Yeah, you
months.
do.
Yeah,
We do the 6 months in meetings, but I'm not so sure about the annual thing, but the reviews.
You check on there.
Oh,
Go ahead.
do I go ahead and do it? Okay. Joan and I sat down earlier, last week and talked. Joan's been here 6 months. I have no doubt that we, along with the other staff, I don't know what else I can say other than I think we've made the right choice. And I'm comfortable that she'll be here a long time, I hope. I hope. So I'm recommending that we hire full-time, permanent. And do I go ahead and, okay, and I would like to recommend that she receive $1 an hour raise.
You know, I'm sorry, did I get ahead of me, man? I think Betty hit on something. I really got a problem with us talking about her review and her sitting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it ain't, it's not you. I'm just, somebody check on the procedure.
I will. Well, at least it wasn't a bad one.
Right.
Yeah, but it been a bad one, we'd asked her to leave.
I got that on that. That's all I'm saying, now this speaks for itself. I mean, you can talk on and on and on, it wouldn't get any better than this.
Right.
And I'm for the increase, but I'm saying future purposes, actually.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Right.
And I felt that way when we done yours, but I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Just a matter of principle, I
Right.
guess, and, well, proper procedure.
See if they really have to be done in an open meeting.
We've got it written up
Well-
somewhere.
Think about it this way. Everything we do and say here, or everything we do and say at work, is public information.
Well, that's not
That's
it.
not true.
That's not it, that's not true. That's not
Yes,
true.
it is.
Why don't we ever go in closed meeting then?
What,
The only time that we go in closed meetings
Personnel.
for personnel, if it's a disciplinary,
yeah, see?
if it's a disciplinary action.
Just check it.
What-
there are three reasons I've learned in recent classes. One is litigation, one is land purchase, and the other does have to do with personnel. I don't know I don't know for sure, I don't wanna say. So I will go back and I'll do research and I'll find out and
Well,
I'll let you know.
just imagine if, now, this don't pertain to what we're dealing with in John. Just forget that, it don't pertain to it, but suppose that somebody sat back there that we discussed that I wanted to make some comments about.
Right,
Would I feel comfortable in doing it?
no.
No,
And you wouldn't do it either.
I probably wouldn't. So,
Check on that.
I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
yeah, that's it. Now, I make a motion.
Give her the raise and hire her.
Yeah, a second.
Okay.
Everybody votes yes, all right.
Okay, thank you, sorry. Sorry to make it so awkward.
I'm sorry, this struck me as not being right, but I may be wrong.
No. No, I mean,
Didn't have anything to do with it.
thank you.
Thank you, John, for all you do.
Thank you,
Thank you, John.
thank you.
Don't feel my
Okay.
my 2 checks.
Everybody else just got one.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to approve the 2017-2018 Department of Corrections Work Detail Agreement. Nothing has changed in this agreement. It's still the same price, $39,500, as it's always been for our detail. Any questions?
That's for a year.
Yeah.
Make the motion to approve it.
I second.
Motion made second, everybody voted yes. Okay, the next item is discuss the purchase of a $2,200 gallon Jet A fuel truck from Perry Brothers for the airport. Here a while back, somebody at the airport or somebody called the airport. John, you can help me out here on that. On that first truck that Perry Brothers looked at for us, who contacted us on
It was a private company that owns a truck at Blairsville.
Yeah.
And they had used it and were selling it, but it was an old truck, and we had Dave Perry go down and inspect it. And it was like $30,000, but it was a lot wrong with it, and we would have had to spend a lot
It was
of
diesel
money.
to start with, that was
Right.
the first thing wrong
Right,
with it.
it was an old air system, it was too big.
Yeah, it was a 5,000 gallon tanker.
Right, yeah. So he recommended we not buy it because of all the additional work it would need.
Dave Perry is Perry Brothers Aviation Fuel. He's the one that we've been buying our fuel from for many, many years now, Phillips Petroleum. And the kind of person he is, you know, we asked him to go look at the one in Lawrenceville. He didn't, he and his mechanic flew up there and gave us a report on it. And of course, you know, he told us what all it would take. It was going to take about $6,000 in repairs to make it even feasible for us to use. And then John spoke up and says, but it's a diesel. And got to thinking about it in this, we ain't had no real hard winters, but diesel is something that we don't need to fool with in these mountains on account of cranking of the cold mornings. So Perry Brothers has got and I talked with Buddy about this. he happened to be in the office one day and doing the bank recs for Kay. Has got a 92 model. It's an F700 Ford with an Allison transmission, and it's exactly the right size we need. It's a 2,200 gallon tanker for Jet A. His asking price, and before he tell you the asking price, he's completely refurbishing this truck. Everything from a new paint to whatever it takes that is wrong with it.
New hoses,
New hoses, filters, the whole nine. There's a, and by the way, he's making a single point and a single point over wing,
right.
not a dual point over
right.
wing. But he's asking $45,000 for it. Told me we can pay him for it however we wanted to. If he wanted him to finance it, we would. But I don't think that should be necessary. But this is something that we're going to have at some point in time, because once we move over, for John to fuel any of these jets, unless he got fuel on the ramp there, he's going to have to tow them. Right. And the more you tow one of those things, the bigger chance you're taking of tearing something up.
That's right.
So,
a typical new fuel truck is 120 to 200,000. So,
John, have you seen pictures of this truck?
I've got some right here that I printed today.
Where I'm going is, are you comfortable with this?
Yes, sir. This is an example of one, and this is their fleet. That is pictures from their fleet. It'll be in one of those trucks.
Huh?
Do we have to bid something like that?
Under 100,000.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And, you know, last year we did $100,000 worth of Jet A sales in that little 6,000 gallon tank. I think in April we bought 2 loads of fuel just in April.
Where's the money gonna come from?
You got that in your, what kind of fund you got out there to go to the hardware store with?
No, he ain't got it. Where's the money gonna come from?
Oh, well, the money will have to come from the city. We can spend some SPOS money on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, if he's willing to do it however we want him to do it.
I offered him $100 a month for 10 years.
No, he said as far as financing, he'd go up to 7 years. But
I'd rather just pay for it and I don't know what y'all think.
If we got the money, we need to just pay for it.
Yeah.
We got the money.
And we've needed this ability for a long time anyway out there.
If I tore up a nose wheel on one airplane, it could be $100,000. So that's why we don't want to tow.
Yeah.
You know, I like to see growth up there, and we've been having a lot of it, and I like this idea. But I keep dwelling on hangars.
well,
When are we gonna address that?
just as soon as we can get into this new terminal, and get some plans, as far as money for the hangars, we ain't gonna have to worry about the money for the hangars. Those will be prepaid before they're ever built by every one of these people who wants a hangar. We'll do them just like we did the last ones. Sell them a 20-year lease for the cost of the hangar.
We need to get some planning going on there then.
Well, there's already been some done.
There's some planning going on right now about that, possibly 8 to 9 hangars on the south side, adjacent to the Bill Elliott hangar, and then 2 behind it. But we're working with Mr. Nelson on this, W.C. Nelson, and we have people that are interested in, you know, these 27 names I got on the list. There's enough people on there that will pay for those hangars. And like the mayor said, we require, you know, a down payment before we begin, we give them an estimated time, completion date, and a total. We think, in talking with Denny Laney, who built our ones in '07 and built our, and of course they'll have to go out on bid, I understand that. But he feels like the 45 foot by 36 foot T-hanger would run about $36,000. And everybody I've talked to has agreed that, you know, that's a fair price. So, and then I think they're even talking about offering a lease extension to the current tenants that we have in the 30 hangars. We're 10 years into that 20-year lease, and if we offer them a 5 or 10-year extension and get money for that, that's also capital we can use. But like the mayor said, whatever hangars we build, the people going in them are going to pay for them.
That's a no-brainer.
Right.
I make the motion we purchase this vehicle.
I'll second.
Everybody voted yes.
And pay for it, whatever is appropriate.
Okay. The next item is back on the terminal. We've had 3 interior decorators searching for furniture. And they've come up with some furniture. If y'all don't know who these interior decorators are, I'll tell you.
Who are they?
WC Nelson's wife, Patsy, his daughter, Courtney, and his daughter-in-law, Catherine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm good with that.
They got a lot better taste than I do.
they,
What would you have to tell us that?
so far, they've been dealing with, the mayor of Blue Ridge has Hilltop Furniture. And of course, Courtney, Catherine, and Patsy have all dealt with her. And they feel like that they're getting the best price for what they want to put in the terminal from her. And so far they've located 2 sofas, some chairs, a chair and table for the snack room, and we're looking somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000–6,000 on this stuff.
That's the place out here on Mercy Hill?
This is
No,
town and
Blue
country.
Ridge.
Town and country
Town and country,
furniture.
Blue Ridge, Blue Ridge.
There's nobody local back there?
Huh?
There's no one local?
Found nothing local that they wanted to put out there.
There's no source, of course, I know there's not that much involved, but there's no source for that kind of stuff for building entities.
Well, there is, we think.
And
That's what I just asked Kay about.
even with GMA, they don't have a source anywhere.
Not unless you're going for surplus.
No, they've got that first in that shop. Remember they told us about it at that last meeting? But we haven't checked it out yet.
I think you're gonna find that surplus too. I may be wrong. We can check that out, but I don't think you're going to.
That's all, not 10% or something. This was, well, we'll check into that, but. If y'all done your homework, I'm good with it.
I don't know how far we need to discuss this, but handling. handling.
What we're looking at is the main lobby. It's the focal point when people come and go. And it's a big room.
Yeah.
You can't put 4 or 5 things in there and it look right.
Mm-hmm.
We have office furniture, the desk, and I have 2 real nice desks currently. We're gonna move over there for the offices. We'll have 2 recliners and a table and computer and all to go in the pilot's lounge, and that's is secondary. And the architect, Richard Landau, when he drew the plans up, he created a pattern or scheme, a flow of the furniture, and that's basically what WCNM took over there, and they kind of identified what they wanted to do, and they didn't adhere to that 100%, but it gave them a general idea of what they needed to do in there. I think he had a total of seating in that lobby for about 30 to 40 people, and 5 round tables in the meeting room, which I don't even think we're worrying about that right now.
Not right now,
But it was 5 round tables with 6 chairs per table for the meeting room. But that can come later to the meeting room.
You would think that our commissioner, our sole commissioner, would have some contact for something like that, as much as he builds and moves in and with furnishings. You'd think he would have a source for that. Contact somebody. I mean, I don't know, I'm just thinking.
I found when you deal with commercial, business-oriented businesses that sell office furniture, you're gonna pay 3 to 5 times more than you are.
You're gonna get office furniture.
Right. And that's what we're trying not to do.
Yeah.
We're trying to create an atmosphere that people that'll come in and people will, feel comfortable with, and it'll be attractive. And we use the same color schemes that's here at on the walls here at the airport, identical.
Fixing to do away with my sofa and love seat if you want it.
That might wind up at my house.
Do we have an amount we're gonna set for this furniture?
Well, to give you an example where we're at, when the building flooded in the old terminal, been there 30 years, I bought a couch and a chair from up here at Circuit City or whatever it is. And it was Naga hide. Well, about half the Naga and about half the hides off of both of them. We've got throw covers over them. And that was in 2010, so they haven't held up. Now, there's a coffee table there that we got from it. It's nice, and we'll be able to see it. We got 2 end tables, one end table with a night in the living room area, the lobby area, with a lamp on it. The lamp cost 50 cents from a yard sale, and the end table was my brother's, she gave to me. And then the other end table behind our desk has our printer on it. It was from my brother's. And we've got a leather Lazy Boy recliner there that's nice. My dog really likes laying on it. But it was my brother's, he gave it to us.
Why don't you just ask me if I care?
Well, and then the couch. Well, and all the stuff that's there, we can't move it over there. It's just the old chairs we sit around at the meeting area there. Those things are Army surplus chairs. I mean, they're 50 years old.
It sounds like Landville wouldn't want that.
So we've been making do with what we got.
I make a motion, we go with it.
Second,
Go with what?
whatever they're gonna
Whatever
pay.
you're gonna do.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'll second that.
Now, get on with the meeting, get this over with. Okay. Occupational tax certificate applications. Peace River Screening Printing, and we had their ribbon cutting today at the chamber. They're located up on Pruitt Circle. T-shirts, different other items that they'll be doing screen printing on. It's a kind of a family project that the folks have located here. The houses that the printing business is in the basement. They live in the house. The house is owned by Bobby Jackson. It used to be the Caldwell house that, well, ain't nobody in this room remembers it. Besides Tony and Rhonda. Betty, you remember, used to be out here on Blue Ridge Street that Bobby took up there and remodeled and rented out. The second occupational tax certificate application is Faith Financial LLC. They're going to be at 103 Ed Money Street. And Brian McAllister is the owner. And he is a repossession man. And then he's going to be storing repoed merchandise from, I don't know if he represents more than one company or not. I know he represents Ford. That lot is already there and it's already fenced in. If any of you have been up in Money and Jackson there, that's where he's going to be storing those vehicles. That's the only two occupational tax certificate applications that we have for approval.
I'll make the motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Approved. Sign permit applications. Phantom Fireworks Eastern Division LLC, 152 East Highway 515. Ricky Day applicant. It's the same person that had their fireworks down there on that lot above Chick-fil-A. The next one is Melissa's Custom Cakes, 102 Cleveland Street, Suite A. Melissa Roberts, owner. The next one is Blairsville Antiques and Treasures, 49B Blue Ridge Street, Kathy Domsick, owner. And that's the old theater building across the street. The one that's been painted bright yellow. That reminds me. All their sign application information, all their paperwork is done and has been approved. Kay and I both have checked it all out. Everything's in order paperwork wise.
How about Melissa's there? You know, we briefly talked about the health inspection. Is that something that needs to be part of?
No, that was just nonprofit. No, she's a nonprofit.
That wouldn't be anything.
No.
Make them legal?
Not really nonprofit, but process.
That reminds me, I left the cake in the oven. Make the motion we adjourn.
Everybody get order, I'll make a
No, we
motion.
gotta approve this
Third.
first.
Make a motion to approve these signs.
Second.
Everybody vote yes. Now y'all can make that motion.
Make a motion to go home.
Second.
Thank you for being here, Junior.